SV Union Junior College, Standard 11th Commerce. I am Manjusha Ngungle, and in this video, we are going to study about Chapter 2, Joint Stock Company. Under that, Introduction, Meaning, Definition and Features of Joint Stock Company. Introduction to the type of organization that is Joint Stock Company. It is a more formal type of organization because it has a set of rules and regulations which have to be followed under the Companies Act. It is capable of satisfying requirements of the modern industry. It requires huge capital and there is a lot of employment that takes place, and the manufacturing that takes place is also on a huge level. Therefore, it is said to be satisfying the requirements of modern industry. It is the most common and most convenient form of business organization. Joint Stock Company, this concept was started in India in the 18th century. This was started due to the requirement of the goods and services on a large scale. There are various types of joint stock companies in India, like public companies, private companies, government companies, etc. Let us understand the meaning of joint stock company. It is a group of individuals associated for a lawful common purpose or goal. So these individuals come together and they are fulfilling a particular concept. The goal includes economic or non-economic activities like business, charity, research, sports, art, entertainment, etc. In such a type of organization, the capital investment is by a large number of persons. So this capital is got together by these individuals who come together. The capital is contributed by the general public. Let us now understand the definition of joint stock companies. Definition of joint stock company. According to Section 220 of the Companies Act 2013, company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law. So, if a company is incorporated means it is going to be started as per the rules and regulations given by the Registrar of Companies. So, as per the Companies Act, a company, it is going to be started, or a concept, it is going to be taken into consideration, and as per the framework given, the company is going to be formed. So this company can be formed under any other Companies Act that were formerly there. According to Professor H. L. Hannay, a joint stock company is a voluntary association of individuals for profit having its capital divided into transferable shares, the ownership of which is the condition of membership. So according to this definition, it is a voluntary association, that is where people are coming together voluntarily on their own for earning profits, and it is having its capital divided into transferable shares, that is wherein those shares can be purchased and sold in the market, and the ownership of which is the condition of membership. So the ownership of this is going to be the condition, that is when a person he is going to purchase the shares, he is going to be known as the owner. So this is going to be done only when he is going to purchase those shares. Let us now understand the features of joint stock company. The first feature, voluntary association. It is a voluntary association of persons who come together with a particular concept. The membership is open to all, that is, the people who are interested in that concept can invest in the shares of the company, and thus they become the members of that particular association. A person can become a member or leave the membership as per his wish. So, a person, whenever he wants, he can become a member by purchasing the shares, and he can leave the membership when he sells off those shares. Membership is also subject to provisions of Articles of Association. Articles of Association is a document of the companies. This has to be maintained as per the Companies Act. And so, a person, when he becomes a member of the organization, he has to follow all the rules and regulations of that particular Articles of Association. Incorporated association. An association of persons formed and registered under the Companies Act. An association is being formed as per the rules given in the Companies Act. And so it has to follow all the documentation and all the protocols for forming this company. The registration or incorporation is compulsory. So this registration is going to be done as per the Companies Act, and so it has to submit all the documents that are required. Incorporation, that is to commence the organization. Without the incorporation certificate, an association cannot be started. It obtains a status of a joint stock company. Once the company is incorporated, then it is known as a joint stock company, wherein the stocking or the shares of a company or the capital of the company is jointly being gathered. So it is known as a joint stock company. Certificate of incorporation is compulsory for all joint stock companies. Without this certificate of incorporation, no company can be started. Separate legal status. So, a company is having its own legal entity, that is a status or identity. So, this it obtains, that is the legal entity or the status or identity is obtained by an organization. This has been done as per the rules given in the Companies Act. Separate status from its members and directors. The uniqueness of joint stock company is that there is a separate status, there is a separation between the members and the directors, or which we say as ownership and management. The members are known as the owners because they contribute towards the capital of the company. And members have limited liability. Their liability is limited only till the capital that they have invested in the shares. The members are not responsible for more than their capital contribution. The members have various rights and duties. So, these members are given various rights as related to the voting, or it can be related to the various decision making in the organization. Artificial person. It is created by law by a legal process. When a company has to be formed, it is going to be created as per the Companies Act. And so, it is obtaining the status of an artificial person over here. It has its own independent personality. An organization is having its own name, and so it is going to obtain its independent personality. That is, it is going to be known as a legal person. It enjoys certain legal rights like entering into contracts, purchase and sell assets or appoint persons. So this can be done by the organization. That is, the directors are going to have their own rights, but it is going to be on behalf of the organization. So, a company can enter into contracts or it will purchase and sell the assets in its own name. But it cannot act as a natural person. It is an artificial person, but it is also that it is not going to use or it is not known as a natural person. Perpetual succession. Perpetual means continuous. So, In a joint stock company, the owners, after the owners are no more, the organization doesn't stop. As against the sole trading or in the partnership firm, wherein after the sole trader or after the partners are no more, the organization is going to be stopped. But here it doesn't happen like that. In a joint stock company, it has continuous succession. Means after the members, that is, even if the members are changed, even after that, there is a continuous succession in the organization. The existence of a company is not affected by the death, insolvency, retirement of the members. It enjoys a long life till it is closed down, because the organization is going to be continuously running, because the members may change, but the organization will be existing as long as it is there. Only after it closes down, then it is going to be said that the organization is closed down. Common seal. An organization is an artificial person, so it cannot sign in its own name. For this purpose, the company has a company seal, which is known as the signature of the company. It is affixed on all important documents and contracts. And so this company seal, or which we say as the common seal, is utilized wherever it is going to be required as an authority. Two directors and secretary usually sign the documents as witness after the seal is affixed. Here are some of the company seals that we can see. We have some company seals like we have of Reserve Bank of India or Wipro Limited, or we have of Tata Motors Limited. So these are the company seals which are affixed on all important documents. As we can observe, for Wipro company, there is the signature of the company secretary to authorize that this document is true. Next feature, that is limited liability. The liability of shareholders is limited up to the capital investment. The company cannot demand more than that investment. It is up to the unpaid part of the face value of shares held by shareholder. So, if a shareholder has agreed to purchase 10 shares of the value of rupees 10 each, so the liability of the shareholder is limited only up to rupees 100. A person, when he invests in the shares, if he has paid only a partial amount, that is maybe only 50 rupees, the company has total right only to the above 50 rupees, not more than that. And so here, the liability of the shareholder is limited only up to that unpaid part of the face value. It is liable up to the share value only. That is, the company cannot demand more than that. It is not concerned with the liability and debts of the company. A member or the shareholder, he is not concerned, or rather a company cannot demand the members to pay more than what has been agreed upon. The member is not going to be liable for all the debts or the losses of the company. The personal assets of the shareholder is not attached to the company. So if the company goes in losses, the shareholder cannot be told to pay anything extra, or his assets cannot get attached to the losses of the company. Separation of ownership and management. Shareholders are owners but cannot look after the company. It is because they are interested only in the investment part. And so the shareholders, that is the people who have invested in the company, may not have the capability to look after the company. For this purpose, they cannot look after the day-to-day working of the company. They are large in number. That is, the shareholders are huge in number and they are also scattered. That means they all may not be in the same place as in the company. Shareholders keep on changing as shares cannot be sold or transferred. And so, whenever the company's shares are going to be there in the market, people may purchase it and sell it as per their profitability. The board of directors are appointed as representatives to look after the company. This is because there are huge shareholders, and due to this, the company, that is the board of directors, are appointed so that they can manage the company. Therefore, we say that there is a separation of ownership and management. The owners are the shareholders of the company, and board of directors are known as the management of the company. Transferability of shares. Shares of public company are transferable. That is, the shares can be bought and sold in the share market. A shareholder can sell or transfer his shares, and so he can sell whenever the share value of that particular company is increasing, or he can transfer his shares to any of the person he wishes to transfer. Membership also ends after he sells his shares. So once he sells his shares, he is no longer the owner of the company. Shares of a private company are not transferable. So this is because there are limited shareholders, and the capital investment of private companies is also limited. So due to this, the shares of a private company are not transferable to each other. These shares can only be transmitted, that is, when the shareholder, he is no more, or if his shares have to be transferred to his heir, it is possible only for private companies. But the shares cannot be willingly transferred in a private company. Number of members. It is owned by a large number of persons. Private companies can have minimum 2 and maximum 200 members, whereas public companies can have minimum 7 and maximum there is no limit of the members. Capital. It can raise huge capital from the members. So this is possible because the capital is divided into shares and which can be purchased by the people. Capital can be collected in the form of owned and borrowed form. So owned capital is including the equity shares and the preference shares. Borrowed form means that amount which is going to be borrowed from the general public. It can be borrowed from various methods, that is by debentures or deposits or even bank loans. It can be raised from shares, debentures, bonds, deposits, loans, etc. Capital can also be raised from financial institutions by way of short-term or medium-term or long-term loans. Government control. It has to work under government control and supervision. This is because the capital is going to be got from the general public. And so due to this, the government has a total control over the working of the joint stock company. Registration is compulsory for all companies, so that the government comes to know as to which are the various companies that are existing in the country. Companies have to follow all the rules as per the Companies Act. The company has to file statement of profit and loss, balance sheet and other financial statements with the registrar. So, the registrar has to be updated as to what all is taking place in the organization. It has to maintain proper books of accounts, and these books of accounts have to be audited. It has to fulfill all the statutory obligations, otherwise companies will be penalized. So, if the organization does not follow any rules of the rules and regulations, then the registrar can fine them, or it can even close down the company. The control is essential so as to protect the interest of the investors. The investors are the owners of the company, but yet they do not come to the company. And so due to this itself, there has to be a control. Therefore, there is a government control over all these organizations. please type the SP Educator. For videos related to Standard 11th and Standard 12th Commerce for the subject Secretarial Practice. Do like, share and subscribe to the channel The SP Educator. Thank you, one and all.